Hey, I have a book with me today, and I wanted to talk for just a moment about mentors and finding mentors and how my ego has gotten in the way. So I just did a live call in with Scott Tarkowski with a company called Mimic, and his show is called Ride with Mimic. And so on Monday and Friday mornings, he has been doing a 30-minute call, and he's brought on a wide variety of people to interview and talk about success and growth and personal development and sales. It's really an eclectic mix from a guy who's in the car business. So Ride with Mimic was the live cast that I was just on, and as Scott and I talked, the topic was mentors who have been in my life, mentors who have helped me grow. And he was asking questions about how they showed up and where I found them. And a realization I had as he and I talked, so it was like a personal insight, was that I've probably had times in life where mentors, and a mentor to me is somebody who helps guide me along the way, helps keep me going, gives me answers, is there for support, sometimes gives me a kick in the pants, sometimes asks me a tough question that I'd prefer not to answer, that makes me squirm a bit. And mentors for me have been long-term mentors, like Warren Lewis has been a mentor for a long time. And then sometimes mentors have been temporary, and were there when I needed them. A guy comes to mind, um, Jeff Maddox, when I was doing farming, and I think I see Greg Gunthorpe, but I can't tell with the the images. So when I was farming, a guy named Jeff Maddox from the Fertrell Company was, and he's still in my life, and I still get to talk to him, and that's great. But he served some short term mentorship roles where he helped me in the moment when I had a sick pig or a chicken and didn't know what to do. So mentors have been longer term, like Warren Lewis, who I talk about a lot, who is was my first coach that I ever had, first paid coach that I ever had, and sales trainer, and he stayed along. And then sometimes mentors are short term. I had some short term mentors. One time, my cousin Michael and I went on this hog hunting trip to South Carolina, and we were out in this huge swamp, and we thought it was going to be easy. And lots of things in life, when we think it's going to be easy, it's not. So we got there and had no idea where to look for hogs. And so mentors to me in that case were everybody we saw that I could ask a question about: where might these pigs be? Where do you look for them? And nobody wanted to give us exactly like their secret hunting spot. You know, hunters are funny like that. They're not going to give you their honey hole, but they'll help and they'll kind of give you ideas. So those people were mentors in the short term. But the realization I had when I was on the phone with Scott today was how, when he said, how did they become mentors? And I thought of the first one I mentioned. Well, first one I mentioned was my grandfather. But yeah, grandfather, he's in my life. The first one I mentioned that I like the relationship happened was Cameron Lobato taught me large ticket sales in Colorado, and I didn't even know it was sales. It's just I wanted to get a company truck, and he said the way you do that is to sell work and make money for the company. And he took me under his wing and showed me how to sell large earth stabilization projects, mostly to rich people in Aspen and Vail. And Cameron was my mentor in that sense, and took me under his wing. And when I talked to Scott today about how that happened, there's a saying: when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. But then I think we need to do something. So Cameron and I were together, and I was humble enough. So I got out my copy of Ego is the Enemy by Ryan Holiday. I don't know if you've read this book, and maybe I'm the only one. Thank you. I'm glad there's a couple people listening. Maybe I'm the only one with this problem, but I've got some ego problems, and it comes and goes depending on my spiritual condition and who I'm surrounding myself with, and am I connected? I had a friend in a 12-step program who used to say, when I'm connected, I'm protected. And some of it is protected from my ego. And ego, I've learned by reading this book by Ryan Holiday and studying Stoicism, it's not exactly what I thought it was. Like, oh, it's not like, oh, I'm an egomaniac. Like, I don't think I'm an egomaniac. No, ego is I wish I could always remember who told me these things, but somebody said when ego is present and I go into a room, ego is always better than or worse than. So when I'm coming from ego, I'm always comparing myself to people, and I'm either trying to justify how I'm better than them, or else I'm comparing them saying, oh, I don't belong here and I couldn't fit in. But with the absence of ego, I could sit with a guy like Cameron and be open to his guidance. I could look at him as a person um, who could help me to serve other people, and just be open to that. So as I talked to Scott today, I said, an insight I've had through doing this live cast with you is there's probably been opportunities for mentorship that I've missed because of my ego. I know that I've gone into situations and I've met people and I've almost like mentally and emotionally like drug them down by almost like making excuses for why they're ahead of me, or how they have different circumstances that I don't, or something like that. And in that state, I'm not open enough to really listen, right? I'm not open enough to hear what they have to offer. I'm not humble enough um, to receive. So, yeah, this is a great book. I've read it like 3 times and listened on Audible 3 times, and it's like starting to sink in. So I highly recommend Ego's Enemy. And when it comes to mentors, so the other thing I'll share with you that came up on that call today was, I said, what would be a great idea for everybody on the call, and I need to do it. Make a list of the people around you who could be mentors, or who could have a nugget, or could have an answer, or could help you with a fear you're having, or something that's been really hard to process. So it's always good. Oh, I've got my journal here on the other side, and I'm not gonna. Well, yeah, I am. That'd be a good thing. I think I'll do that. Who's around me that might have an answer, that if I'm humble enough to be open and drop ego and not think that, oh, who am I to ask them, or oh, like they're ahead because of they got a special advantage. So I'm going to make a list of people, and you could do that too, who could be maybe a longer term mentor, and somebody who would love to pour into your life, or maybe they've just got they're going to be a short term mentor and they have an answer to a question that you need. And I'll close with this. I've been working on Business Builder Camp, and that's my group to bring together men business owners. And the reason for men business owners is because we go beyond just in my one-on-one practice. I do mostly like business growth and marketing and sales and your story, and I love that work, and I have some awesome women clients. But in Business Builder Camp, we work with men because we go beyond business. We go to the intersection of business and life. And camp to me is like Pennsylvania Deer Camp, which was a collection of people who would come together for the common purpose of having fun and recreating, normally in northern Pennsylvania, and going deer hunting. So Business Builder Camp is like a ready-made group of mentors. That's the idea. And peer mentors. So it goes back and forth. It's not like I want Business Builder Camp isn't me giving people all this advice because I live a perfect life, because Lord knows that's not the truth. But sometimes I'll have something to offer, and in the group there'll be other men who are ahead and have things to offer. They might be ahead of you in terms of children and challenges that they've been through in raising children and being a dad, or they may be ahead of you in terms of, I have a guy in the community right now who is training for an elk hunt in Colorado, and so he's ahead of some people in that physical fitness endeavor. And then I've got other guys, like Josh is on the phone, is in my world, and Josh has gotten really good at Facebook and social media and getting his message out for the church. And Jack Justice is really good at building websites for contractors and knowing about how to get found online and build a quality website. And he so happens to also be really good at direct B2B sales. So anyway, gather up your people, drop the ego piece, and I'm going to do the same. It's been good to spend a little bit of time with you. Partially, I wanted to just make sure that I could talk into the camera. The other day, my eyes were wandering all around. It's good to spend time with you. Let's see. Josh, I see Tia, Chris, Kevin. I really think that's Greg. And maybe it's Tony and Jamie. There's a great wedding picture there. So all you folks, I know you. I'm glad you're in my life. I hope you're doing well. Enjoy your weekend and talk soon. Mentors. You're probably a mentor for people too. Bye bye.